profits. With FIFO, if FIFO usually the net profit is smaller than weighted average. So with FIFO, the tax that you're going to pay is less than the tax you would pay with weighted average. Does it make sense when I say that? Just go to your income statement, because what does a company pay tax on? On its net profit, right? And how's net profit calculated? Sales less cost of sales. And cost of sales influence my gross profit. So I did an example like this. If my sales is 20, my cost of sales is 10 or 8. Can you see the difference in the gross profits? Which is going to pull through down to your net profit, which would have an influence on the amount your income tax is calculated on. So if you just during the year suddenly just change your methods, such may think that you are trying to evade tax, which is illegal. So you need to get written permission. You write them an email where you get permission from them to change your method. Then it's fine. Okay, so it's not that you're not allowed to, it's just you can't do it without the permission of SARS. So just go look at that again. If your cost of sales is bigger, your profit is smaller. So with FIFO, your gross profit, this would be FIFO and this would be weighted average. So with weighted average, the amount, your profit in the end is always more than with FIFO. Now you ask, but why don't everybody just do FIFO then? Because in the end it balances out. Ne? Remember, next year your weighted average is then going to be different again. So now you take into consideration the new prices. So in the end it balances out. It's not that you're going to score. It's just the immediate effect on the income statement is like that. And they like asking questions like that. Okay, so let's go to today. So today, if I can find it, because now it's gone. Yeah. So they start off, they say. Yes. No. Choose the correct cost concepts from these given in brackets. Hey, I'm starting. So yeah, number 1. So remember, what's the difference between periodic and perpetual? It's all about the cost of sales. And the words, this is English. Periodic means sometimes. Perpetual means all the times. Okay, so some of you periodically do your homework and listen in class, whereas others perpetually listen and do their homework. There's the difference. So, periodic, we do the cost of sales when we do the stock take. So, it's just once a year, twice a year maybe. Perpetual, you do continuously. Every time you have a sale, you do the cost of sales. That's what we've been doing grade 8, 9, 10, 11. When we do the journals, if you have a sales column, what's the column next to sales? Cost of sales. Because with every sales transaction, you calculate cost of sales. Okay, if you go further in accounting, you will see after school they use periodic. So now they say, periodic system records the cost of sales at the point of sale. Which one? Perpetual. The first in, first out, FIFO, remember, and the weighted average. Which one is more relevant for low cost stock? It's the weighted average. Because their prices is close together, and if I get an average, there's not a big fallout. The FIFO or weighted average will value closing stock at the most current. That is first in, first out. And you'll see they like to give you little theory questions here at the start, and please get full marks for it. And don't leave it out. Now, you will see inventory will always be split in two. So it will always be stock evaluation and something else. So in this case it's fixed assets. Other times it would be VAT, other times it would be recons, and other times it would be stock evaluation again. Then it's two different stock evaluation questions. So the one would be calculating the closing stock, the cost of sales and all of that. And the other one would be about identifying problems, and that is the things that a lot of you guys like. That's not the numbers, people. You like the comments. I know. Okay, so now let's look. Here we go. Clearview Electronics is owned by Sipho Khoza. It's spelled wrong. The business sells two models of printers, Huawei and Yamaha. The specific identification method is used to value their stock because there's not millions of them in the store. Their financial year is 28 February. Good internal controls ensured that there were no stock shortages. Okay, so calculate the value of the closing stock. Now, if you look at this, when they ask SIM, they're going to give you the stock and the sales. They're going to give you two sets of information. So the stock would be at cost. Can you see? There it is. Whereas this is at sales price. You will always work with the cost price when you're calculating closing stock, because you want the stock value. Okay, now, can you see? We have an opening and a purchases and a returns. So what am I going to do? I'm going to say, okay, let's have a look. So I start with Harvey. So you don't have to write Harvey out. I just say H so I know who I'm working with. So I had 90 units the start of the year. I bought 340, and I returned 5, which means how many units do I have left? So this is 430, it's 425. And the cost price is 38. Can you see the cost price is the same everywhere? And once again I say to you, you can ignore the workings and the answer columns. You work across them. Okay. Sharp. So, what is this answer? Anybody? Don't you have any calculations, ways to do calculations? You actually got the memo in front of you, and you got a calculator. Say again? 5,000. Okay. Yes. Yes. Never different. Just the models would be different with SIM. Okay. Now I'm going to look at Yamaha, and Yamaha is obviously an. Oh, I'm lying. What did I do wrong? I did something wrong here. What did I do wrong? What are we calculating? The closing stock. What did I calculate here? How much stock I had available to sell. So, how much did I actually sell? I sold 300. So how much do I actually have left? 125. So you're going to say 125 times 38 gives me what? 4,700. Okay. You guys with me? Now if I look at you can see this is a new model most probably, because I didn't have a opening balance, or it was sold out. So let's see, 495. How much did I sell? 430. So how much do I have left? 65. What's the cost? 5,410. And that gives me what? And now I'm going to total it. Can you see where I'm writing? Because I don't have space left. So what is the total?
826650.
Okay. Now, this is allowed. If I can give you advice, ignore the left side of your paper. Don't do calculations on this side because they cut it to scan. But on the right side and at the top and the bottom, you can write as much as you want because the people will go low.
It's 6650.
Okay. So this is 6 marks. Okay, you can look how it's marked. Next one. Calculate. Now this one I want you to please pay attention. Yes. So calculate how long in days. So because they say in days, I know it's times 365. It will take to sell the closing stock. Now, when they talk closing stock, remember usually they will say average stock. Ne? So this is my stock on hand that they're asking. If they ask it like this, it's the stock on hand. And I'm used to stock on hand. Remember, stock is at the top, cost of sales is at the bottom. And usually it's most half opening plus closing stock. But now because they are saying only on the closing stock, you're literally only going to use the closing stock, the final. But now the other thing is you're going to use the units. You're not going to use the rand. You can use the rand. But remember, you calculated the closing stock there. So you can say 8266650 over, and then what is the cost of sales? Did they give you the cost of sales? Huh? So what's your problem? What did I do wrong? Okay, so I only need to take Howie. I was right. The 351,650.
No, it's 475,000.
Wait.
The yellow one, yes.
Okay. Let's all breathe. With all these interruptions, my brain is literally divided into 7 species. Okay, let's try again. Calculate how long in days, right? So I know it's times 365 to sell the closing stock. I'm not going to use amounts. I'm going to use units. Why? Because it's shorter to write, quicker to calculate. So, what is the stock on hand units of what? Howie. Howie had 125 units. You agree with me?
Yes, sir.
So that's on top. At the bottom is the cost of sales. Now remember, cost of sales units is equal to the sales units. Because if I'm selling this thing, how many units did I sell? 1. What's the cost? How many units do I need to calculate cost of sales for? 1. So if they tell me how many units I sold, I know this is also the units for cost of sales. So I put the 300. And there I go. How many days is it? 1? Okay, now, once again, I say to you, when you round off, you first show 2 decimals, and then you round off. Do I have 153 days on hand? No, but I have 152. So you can round it off to 152. This one you're always going to go down, because you don't have a full day. The moment there's a comma, I don't have the next day full. You got me? Okay. So there we go. Way easier to do it like this. But GARP principle consistency says if I calculated it with units this year, I can't go next year and calculate with rands. It has to be the same that I did it this year and last year. Explain whether SIPO should be concerned about the stock holding period of the Howie and Yama printers. Quote figures, give possible reasons for the difference in holding periods. So, if I go look, I can say, Howie, we have 152.08 days stock available, How many months is this? Because for me personally, it's better to work in months. My brain has a better concept of that. What's 152 divided by 30? It's plus minus 5 months, Now, what are we selling? Printers. Okay? So we've got printers for 5 months. Now let's look. I'm going to leave a little line that I can comment. And I'm going to say here, Yama, we have 55.2 days. They give it to you there with the stock holding period. Okay, and how many months is that? Anybody? 2 point? No, it's more than 2. No, it's less than 2. It's 1 point how many months? No, don't do this. Do this. 84 months, So, now I need to comment on that. So let's say I only get 1 tick for each. It means I've got, 4 ticks left to comment. So I need to comment on both. So if I look at Harvey and I look at Yama, which one should I be worried about? Harvey. And what are you going to say? Too much stock available. Now what's the problem if I have too much stock available? And I'm going to give you a few reasons and you can choose which one. Cash tied up in stock. What does that mean? I buy stock with the purpose to sell stock, with the purpose to get money. So if the stock doesn't sell, I do not get money. If I do not get money, I cannot operate because I need to pay wages. I need to pay my phone. I need to pay electricity. I need to pay my creditors. Right? Can you see the problems here?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what else? I'm going here downstairs. I'm going to give you some other reasons and then you can decide which of these reasons make sense to you and you're going to remember. The cost of storage. Because I can't display all of this. How many do I have left? 125. Remember, I calculated 125. Now let's just quickly think in our mind. Have you ever gone into Makro or Game and saw them one model printer there, or do you see 125 there on the shelves? No. Where do they keep the other? It's usually one on display and maybe 2 or 3 in the, what do you call the shelves? And if there's nothing, then they usually go look in the back. What is the back? Storage. So, some places do not have storage. So they have to rent storage. Can you see the cost? Or the danger of damage. It can be damaged. Or it can, this is an electronic thing, it can become redundant. They can come out, and I think this is what's already happened why Yama is selling so well. Because remember, if you look at this, I had Harvey last year already, and I already had 90 left from last year. Why on earth did I buy 340 extra? I will not be able to tell you. But in any case, so can you see I only started selling Yama this year. And can you see it's more expensive. So it's a better model. So most probably Howie is already getting behind in technology. Its features is not as advanced, or maybe, people, it's not printing as fast as the new versions. The versions, maybe there's already updated versions. Now you're still sitting with the old version. So people may not want to buy it because it's old. It's old-fashioned. If I go to Yama, right, I've got enough stock on hand, ne? Sells good, ne? Why? It's a new model, so it's upgraded. Upgraded, it's maybe got better features. Can you guys see how you must think? Okay. Otabetsu is saying here, Otabetsu Untatile, Oratile. What he's saying here, also, we can see how we returned 5 units. So, I personally think it can also have to do with the fact that it's been in storage for so long. But like you say, maybe there's mistakes in it and people want to send back its defective. Okay. Next one. Stock valuation. Can you see now? This is a new company. This is a new place. It's not an old one. Okay, say. The financial year, this is 2022.